Good morning, Chicago Cubs fans. We are back with another edition of Cubs Daily. My name is Steven Ryan, presented by FanArts. The Cubs officially clinch home field through the wild card round. We will be playing the Padres. That matchup was determined Friday. The only thing that needed to be determined over the weekend was if the series was going to be at Wrigley or at Petco Park. I was actually hoping to do a video yesterday celebrating this exact message, but it was really late at night. I was waiting to see the result of that Padre Diamondbacks game. The Padres eventually did win that, so I was like, you know what? We're going to save the celebration for today, and that's exactly what happened. The Cubs win today's game 7-3, clinching home field. Michael Busch had an astronomical game. Lots of good hitting all around. It was really positive to see. We do have one negative note to drop. We're going to get to that here in a moment, but let's just take a celebratory moment to enjoy the fact that we're going to be playing some playoff baseball at Wrigley Field. We're going to get 3 games against the Padres, best of 3, a nice simple series. The Cubs have won this many times this year. They've even beaten the Padres in a couple of these already. But once again, we played them much earlier in the season. This is a much different Padres team we're going to be facing, okay? This Padres team is really good. They got a lot of star potential. They obviously made a lot of moves at the deadline, bringing over Mason Miller, bringing over Ryan O'Hearn, Ramon Laureano. He'll be out for this round, though, due to an injury. But this team has got a lot of star power as well, like Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., Luis Arraez might be the best contact hitter in all of baseball as well. You know, and let's not sleep on the likes of Xander Bogaerts as well. I did see a fun tidbit, though. We've been talking about, who's going to pitch, who's going to match up in this series. And, I was personally nervous. I'm not sure about you guys in the chat comment section. Please do let me know. I'm personally nervous about Shota going on the mound versus any team right now. In his last 10 starts, in 9 of them, he has given up at least 1 home run in a game. And it just strikes a nerve for me because that is the ultimate killer in postseason baseball, right? Not saying that small ball is dead in postseason baseball, but the wins can be taken out of a team's sail after a couple of long balls, right? If you're hitting the ball hard against the opposing pitcher, teams overreact, right? Because it's the end of the season. You got to put all hands on deck to get the dub. So I did see that the Padres have one of the lower team OPSs against left-handed pitching. It's like a little 675 or something like that. So maybe that's a good benefit for the Cubs, right? A really positive matchup, especially if we're throwing out Shota Imanaga and Matthew Boyd in games 1 and 2. But before that, we were talking about Cade Horton, and unfortunately we did get some news here today that Cade Horton is going to be going on the 15-day IL. He's got I believe a broken rib. Not good whatsoever. They've ruled him out of the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, so obviously that's going to take him out of this wild card game and out of the series if we advance to face the Milwaukee Brewers. And, honestly, I don't know if that's enough time. Jed Hoyer was on the game today. He talked about it. Or the game yesterday, sorry. He was on the game yesterday, talked about it with the crew there. And, he was kind of feeling ill over the last weekend against the Reds. And, had a cough or two. Something felt funny. He tried to gut it out Tuesday, but that's why he did come out. And yeah, it's official. I think it's broken. I'm not sure 100%, but usually speaking, when it's broken rib, you're out 6 to 8 weeks, and that would knock him out of the postseason for sure. This team just keeps getting bitten by the injury bug. Obviously, it started early on with Justin Steele, and Colin Ray. I'm one of the proponents that I think Colin Ray should get a start in this. Colin Ray has been absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, he went on Friday. J-Mo went yesterday. Both those guys have been absolutely studs for this team, so hopefully they can play in a nice long relief role. Make this a nice, easy, quick 2-game series against the Padres. We can get a day rest before heading to Milwaukee if we are able to advance in that sense. But not good news for Cade Horton. They didn't rule him out of the postseason potentially, but I would have to imagine that he kind of is. I think I'm going to, as a fan, I'm going to work under the assumption that he is done for the season. what a second half for this young man, though. He absolutely helped this pitching staff. You know, when the team was struggling, he bounced back, pitched great, got us wins when it just didn't feel like we were going to get them. He was absolutely magnificent. So maybe Shota and Matt Boyd, who have been kind of struggling here recently. Matt Boyd last start, though, was really, really good. Hopefully they can maybe return back to their normal form, and then maybe a combo with JMO and Colin Ray can guys be a little bit of a big three going into this playoff push. The names aren't, a market level, but you know what? You never know in baseball, ladies and gentlemen. You just got to get hot at the right time. And speaking of getting hot, how about this guy? Michael Busch yesterday was a single short of the cycle. He absolutely got the party started. First pitch he saw in the game, he left the yard. The next AB, he doubled. The third AB, he gave us a 2-run lead. He wanted this series at Wrigley Field by himself. And I know Twitter was losing its mind over the Cardinals walking him in the 8th inning, to not even give him a chance, essentially, at a single for the cycle. But you know what? It's just the move you're going to have to make in that situation, right? You're not going to get burned by this guy. He was 4 for 4 already. 2 home runs, a triple, and a double. Yeah, odds are he's going to poke it somewhere and get a single. So didn't want to even mess with that. They like their numbers better against the next batter. So Michael Busch, man, he is one of the guys that has been turning it around this last couple weeks. PCA is starting to find his power stroke as well. Seiya Suzuki with 3 home runs in the last 2 games as well. If, the pitching is falling apart, this offense coming back together could not be more perfect. I hope they find a way to sustain the success, because if this offense is producing at this level, we might not need the best pitching performance ever. You're going to need some pitching. I'm not denying that. You're going to have to win some close games, right? Some coin flip games, 5-4, 3-2, etc., etc. But if this offense can continue to do what it is doing, this Cubs team does have a chance to make a push. I don't care what the comments say. So the season's done. You can catch me with that negative attitude, okay? I don't need to hear that nonsense. Baseball, you got to be positive. You fail already 75% of the time if you're an above average major league hitter, right? Major league average is like close to 240, 235 these days. So I don't want to hear from you. This team has been good all season long. They won all 91 games. I know on the day-to-day it can seem like they've been struggling. This is a good baseball team. And honestly, Michael Busch turning it around, Seiya Suzuki turning it around, and PCA turning it around might not come at a more perfect time for this ball club. Nico and Ian and Dansby Swanson have been carrying the bill for the past few weeks. Now, if we can all just come together and just, keep hitting that baseball hard, this team has a good chance to be special and make a deep postseason run. No doubt about it in my mind. Now, the season finale is here. I'm not sure what, Craig's plan is. I haven't seen a lineup yet, but Javier Assad is getting the ball. I imagine it's going to be a bullpen game. Jordan Wicks is probably going to pitch. Probably a lot of low leverage arms. If the Cubs win, that's great. If the Cubs lose, obviously I would like to win. I'm hoping he does start some of the guys just so that they can, get one AB. I think Kyle Tucker does need to play just so he can get an at-bat and keep his arm, keep seeing the baseballs, keep getting those reps, and so he can be ready for Tuesday as well. So Cardinals don't have anything to play for. The postseason, the only spot that is left up for grabs is that NL wild card spot, the third one. The Reds are in position as it sits. They hold the tiebreaker over the Mets. The Mets, I believe, play the Marlins, and the Reds play the Brewers. So that will be to determine that. Whoever is that third NL wildcard team is going to be traveling to Los Angeles to play the Dodgers. Obviously, the Padres are coming to Wrigley to play the Cubs. And the Brewers will be awaiting the winner of that series. And the Phillies will be awaiting the winner of the Reds/Mets versus the Dodgers. That's going to be your NL playoff picture. We'll give you a much more full preview breakdown in tomorrow's episode. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have one game left. It's been an absolutely fantastic season. I know there's been a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of teasing, a lot of non-execution, etc., etc. But we're here, and we're in the postseason, and I could not be more excited to watch this team play. It's been a fun year. I said it early in the season that this is one of my favorite Cubs teams. Now, again, that's not saying a lot because this franchise, over the course of my lifetime, hasn't had a lot of success. But either way, I have truly enjoyed watching this team battle, scrap, find ways to win games, bounce back from terrible losses, and just straight up play the game of baseball in a way that I enjoy thoroughly. So hopefully they can bring that fun and zest to October, and we will see the Padres on Tuesday. But you guys and gals, I will see you tomorrow in the next one.